So last time we started talking about Babul I'rab, right? We said this would be one of the big topic that we will be spending quite some times. And then, inshallah, we will be doing the other things. I think I went through the stages or the big topics of the grammar, right? Yeah. So in here, we will be learning about uh, different states, grammatical states of words. And inshallah, this probably gonna take a month or so, something like that. I'm not too sure. Depends on how fast we can get through them. But we said that before, because this is our main primary study. We want to study the grammatical states and how do we indicate those states. But then we have this concept of bina, which is where the word it states it doesn't change, right? So we said that this is something that we also have to understand, and because it's a rather small small topic, that's why we wanted to study it and get it over with, right? And alhamdulillah, I think last time we had enough discussion about these things. This topic you can go on and on. For example, I always refer to you about the Qatr Nada and Alfiya, because these are the two primary books for the advance, so so that you understand. In For example, in both Qatr Nada and Alfiya, they really talk a lot more about this concept. So there's few more things that I wanted to mention, and then inshallah we'll be wrapping up the bina, and then inshallah we will start with Arab. um, this beginner book, they don't explain too much, but I like this book because I was going through it, and I was very impressed that at least I just need to know who is doing these footnotes. At least in the footnotes, they do add some of the things that I wanted to talk about, some of the things that, this is still not to the advanced level or in intermediate level, but at least it talks about few of the things that I would rather mention, right? For example, whatever mentioned about the Mabni, Ajrumiyyah did not mention anything, right? So he added something. But also, he did not go too much in details. For example, I was telling you what are the things that is Mabni in terms of three parts of speech, and then but this author did not mention. But then I was going through the footnote here, and then subhanallah, this is very nice. He did mention them. You see, so he doesn't want to burden too much for the beginner student, but if someone is interested, they can read through the footnote. So this is very nice. Okay, so he just talks about the bina. What is the linguistic? It's basically, you have to know the bina is thubut. This is also very, very important word for you guys to understand. Thabata, you can just learn thubut for now. Thubut, it means farm, fixed. You will hear this word comes in the grammar a lot. Okay, so this is a good word. So when we say bina, we mean it's fixed, and obviously the understanding is that it's fixed on its i'rab, meaning it doesn't change its ending. But remember, last time I was giving you what are the ones that mabni, right? So I think here the author actually gives you a good list. It's not complete, but at least we will get some idea. I think this is nice. These are the things you have to know. So don't underestimate. You have to know what are the words bina. Otherwise, you will be confused. You will try to make Arab of these things, or if you see a fatha and you don't know that this is a mabni, and you will think that fatha is the mansub. So you will think this word is in mansub state. So you have to be careful, right? So it is very important that you do know what are the bina, which are the words are fixed, so that and it's not a big list, so you can you're good. So here he says, وَيَقَعُ الْبِنَاءُ, the bina falls in what? Fil asma'i. See? So we have three parts of speech. Bina can be on asma, in the ism, right? أو al-af'al, or in the verbs, fi'l. أو al-huruf, or in what? In the particles. So because the harf, you can have two plurals, ahruf or huruf. Both of them has the same meaning. So he's saying basically that what we mentioned last time, that the bina can be in both nouns and the verbs and the particles, right? So now he's going to say al-mabni min al-asma'i. Okay, so this is a the fixed among the nouns are mahsurun. Okay, fi abwab minha. So this is hasara is like it's contained in in the chapters, and among them are, so basically it's saying that we have fixed words in the asma, in the nouns, and these are among these topics. Okay, you can think of like that. Number one is damir. Damair is the plural of damir. Okay, so we talked about this. So all the damair are mabni. So this is something you have to know. Just put, I'm going to tell you because he gives quite a long list, but right now you have to have those basic things firm. All the damair are mabni. Here he's giving you a dhamir munfasila. Dhamir munfasil, right? Meaning the separate dhamirs like ana, nahnu, anta, antuma, antum, huwa, hiya, huma, hum, hunna, all of these things, right? But but it's not restricted to this dhamir. It can be also dhamir muttasil, something that is connected. For example, ka. Okay, you say kitabuka, that means my, your, my, all of these dhamir, any types of dhamir you see, like na, dhahabna, dhahabna. See, this na is a dhamir. So all types of dhamir are what? Mabni. Okay, clear? Now, then we have the second thing he said, what? Al asma'ul mawsula. Okay, so asma'ul mawsula is the one that you say alladhi, allati. I also mentioned briefly. Okay, so here you just have to be careful a little bit. Inshallah, you will learn that in Arabic language, anytime you have any word, doesn't matter what category it is, if it comes in the dual form, we'll study them, but I'm giving you this idea, so because I'm pretty sure you've studied the dual. Anytime it has this ani, any word that has ani in the dual form, and it means the dual, ani, it cannot be part of the word, it has to be dual, like, then it will be morab. It will be, it will change. What do I mean? I mean, they're saying that al asma al mawsula, which is like alladhi, allati, all of these things are mabni. Okay, alladhina, allati, all of these things, or allai, all of these things would be mabni, except for, because alladhi, I don't know if you know this, inshallah we'll study. Alladhi is for talking about masculine singular, allati is talking about feminine singular, alladhina is for plural masculine. But when it comes to the dual, see, alladhani and allatani, anytime you have something with the dual, what happens, guys? Anytime you will find these things in other places also, then guys, this would be your mora. Okay, so this is something very fundamental to the language, and it will help you. This idea will help you because that time you don't have to say, because now he's making this exception, that except for these two. Okay, so as long as, why this exception? As long as you know that the duals are always mora. Okay, clear, guys? So this is your what? This is the second one. The third one he gives al asma or asma ul istifham, the nouns for the question, like kaifa, aina, mata. Asma ul istifham, the questioning tools that we have. These are what? These are mabni. Then we have what? Al asma or asma ul ishara. Okay, asma ul ishara. See, now you know asma ul ishara is hada, hadihi. What about hadani? Huh? Hatani. See, you don't have to think about this because these are dual. As soon as you see a dual, this rule, guys, you have to know this is going to be moral. See, both of them has the same problem. Otherwise, they would love to say that all of the asmaul ishara is mabni. Life is very simple, or all of the asmaul mausula is mabni. But then you have these two forms. The dual forms are always moral. Now, Uh, rest, I'm not going to be, I'm just quickly mention them, but these are not super important right now. So we have asma ul af'al. Okay, so asma ul af'al, this is same thing. What I give you, ism what? Ismu fa'ilin. He just made it into plural. What is ismu fa'ilin? Remember those special uh, noun verbs that we talked about? Uh, those are also mabni. Then also he mentioned what asmaul shart. So these things, we haven't studied the shart anyway. So what's the point of going through them? You know, just as long as you understand this happening, you're fine. Once in a while, if you come across, and I'll mention them. Some of the dhuruf zarf are also mabni, like not all of them. So he is saying bad. Bad means some. So just keep this thing in mind. My main concern is, guys, what, that that mabni, there are mabni in what? There are mabni in nouns, and the primary ones are dhamir, al-asma al-mawsula, ismul istifham, and ismul ishara. These are the main things. Okay, and inshallah you will be fine for now. Then he says al-asl fil afal, what? Al-bina. So he's saying, did he mention asl? What did I say about ism? What is the asl? Is ism asl mabni or mora? Who remembers what I said? Hmm? Morab, yes. Isim asl is that it should be morab. It should have i'rab. All these changes should be happening. Yes, all the dhamma, fatha, kasra, everything has to happen. But he's saying what? For the fail, asl is what? Mabni, is bina. So the asl is bina. But as you can see, just because its asl is, for ism, the asl is morab, doesn't mean that all of them are morab. We just learned that we have this set of kinds of ism which are mabni. Okay, these are the things we have to memorize, we have to learn them. Likewise, he's saying that the fi'l asl is bina, is mabni, and then he's now giving yubna minha. He's saying what are the bina from it? Al madi. We talked about this, right? All the past tense verbs are mabni, and al amr. All the command verbs are what? Are Now then he also mentions two situations when so that means what's left? We have three types. We have madi and and what is left? Al mudare. So yes, the mudare is morab. So mudare is not mabni. Okay, mudare, it will change, but there are two situations when mudare will be mabni. I don't want to bother you with this thing right now. Inshallah, when we talk about the verbs, we will go there. Okay, is it clear? So far, only thing we have to know that this asal, the concept is important, is that asal of the verbs are, it is mabni, and asal of the noun, it is morab. But then what about harf? Al huruf kulluha mabniya. Okay, so what? So that means every single particles are mabni, to the point, these are the things that they would not discuss in this kind of course, but they will definitely, this is one of the main topic they will discuss in the alfiya. The whole chapter about bina and alfiya is that why they are mabni, why isim are mabni. They will say everything revolves around the harf. Of course, I'm not going to go in discussion, I'll just give you the idea. They will argue that when it comes to mabni, it is because of the harf. So the asal, or the whole concept of mabni, has to do with harf. So then why is isim harf? Sorry, why are isim mabni? They're saying if isim has some kind of similarities with the harf, whether its shape or its meaning, that's when it will be mabni. They go so much in detail. So that means that anybody who represents also or resemble harf, any word that resemble harfs, either by meaning or by its attributes or shape, then it will be mabni. And I'll just give you one of them. One of them is like, when you have a harf, it's meant to be like one or two letters. Not all of them, but it's like small letters. So any nouns that is small letters, well, you better be mabni. Okay, so they will have this whole interesting discussion about this thing. They will explain each one of them why they're mabni. Each one of them they will explain why they're mabni, and they will try to show you the similarities with the harf. This is mind-boggling. As I said, it's not the topic for this class, but something that I really really find fascinating. Why do I find them fascinating? Because it just tells you the Quran being in Arabic language. I mean, this is just very interesting how powerful this Arabic language is and how it was developed, and Quran is using it. It's just something else. Anyway, so that is our talk about mabni. So please make sure you understand which are the ones are mabni, because after that we don't talk about them. There's nothing to be. We are not interested in mabni. There's nothing for us to do. It just we cannot change. As a grammarian, we love to deal with this fatha dhamma kasra, but here we cannot do anything. And do also please make sure you understand how to say it is mabni on what, mabni ala what. So this concept should be in your mind. For example, here it would be mabni ala what. Let me see if anybody remembers. What would you say is mabni ala what? Sukun, that's it. It is mabni ala what, this one, whatever this one, mabni ala fatha. That's it. It's very simple, guys. So the concept is very simple. Okay, good. That's what it is. Jayid, I think that all I wanted to talk about from now. Okay. Remember we said before we wrap up a topic, we have this exercise. I think this is nice. See if we can quickly do them. We don't want to spend too much time here. So let's look at this one. So basically, he wants you to find. He wants both mu'rab and mabni, but let's see if we can find the uh, mabni from here or not. I think we should be able to find both mabni and mu'rab. It's not a problem, right? So look at this verb. So we have فَلْيَعْبُدُوا فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هذا البيت. Now, so from this part, how many mabni can you find? Okay, let me go one by one, so that will be easy. I'll just give you the word, and you tell me mabni or mora. Okay, so maybe that will be easy for you guys, because you guys are not typing. Typing is not good. So what about fa? What is fa? Ism, fail, or harf? And is it a harf? Fa is harf and mabni. Good. So as soon as you say harf, that's it. If you know that every single harf is mabni, you're good. So that's good. Yes, fa is harf, mabni. What about this lam here? Okay, this lam is, remember, lam al-amr. Oh well, you guys don't know. Some of you guys don't know. Inshallah, we will study this lam, but I will tell you this lam is. What do you think? This lam should be harf. Sometimes you have to also use your idea. You could be wrong. That's fine. But what do you think this harf should be? Lam should be. Should it be harf or fail or ism? What do you think? I see a lam. How do I feel? Yeah, so you should be thinking it has to be yes, but every time you see something small, remember what I said, that one of the attributes of harf is that they're small. Yes, so if you're wrong, that's fine, but I want that initial thought. Yes, so the lam would be it'd be harf, and as soon as this is a harf, then it is mabni. So we've got two mabni so far. Now we have the verb. We have what? We have the verb ya'budu. What is ya'budu? This is well, I'm telling you verb, subhanallah. So this is a verb. So what type of verb it is? Who can tell me? Because that will answer our question if it's mabni or morab. It is mudar. Yes. If it's mudare, do you think it's mabni or mabni or not? It is not mabni. Okay, we said the mudare are morab. So, but is there anything else in here? This is mudare, so that means it's not mabni. But is there anything else you can find from here? Is there any other word? Since I'm asking, you're probably thinking maybe there are other words. Yes, this wow is a word. Inshallah, we'll study them, but I'm just giving you so that it's always good to have exposed to these things, and then we can get in details. This wow is what? What do you think this wow is? Yes, this wow is a pronoun. This wow is a pronoun. And if I say it's a pronoun, so first of all, first question, is it, what is the parts of speech? Is it harf? Of course, it's not going to be fail, but is it a harf or is it ism? Hmm? Ism, yes. So now we know ism, the default of ism is what? That it is mora, it's not mabni. But then see, now you knowledge that you're learning, the dhamir are mabni. So then now you know that even though it's ism, but we just learned the dhamir or the dama'ir, the pronouns are mabni. And I told you it doesn't matter if the pronoun is, munfasila or muttasila. It doesn't matter if it's a, subject pronoun or object pronoun. It doesn't matter. All the dhamirs are mabni. Yes. So we have mabni. So we got how many mabnis from here? We got 1, 2, and 3. See, it's very interesting, but not that simple. So the rab, rab is, first of all, give me the parts of speech. So yes, it's ism. So now ism, is it going to be mabni or mu'rab? Your main, as soon as you think about ism, your main understanding should be that it is what? Mu'rab. Yes. But how do you know if it's mabni? That's why you have to learn this list. That's it. The book gave you the list, whatever the list is. Okay, so if it falls under one of this list, then it's mabni. If it doesn't, then it's not mabni. It's mora. Does it fall under one of this list? Is it ismul ishara? Is it dami? No, it doesn't fall. So that means it is mora. Now, what about hada? Isim, fail, or harf? This is the last one I'm gonna do, and then, well, maybe I'll finish the ayah. Isim, and you were saying mabni. Why you're saying mabni? All the asal of isim is morab. All the isim should be morab. Why are you saying mabni? Ism ishara. Excellent. Okay, so we just learned that all the ism ishara, all the, it looks big word, just like normal nouns, but too bad it is ism ishara. It is mabni. So last one I will do. So we have what? We have two words here. We have alif lam and we have bait. So alif lam is what? What do you think? Is it isim fail? Of course, it cannot be fail. It is what? It's harf. So once we know this is a harf, then it is your uh, mabni. And al bait is mora. Clear? Understand? Now, جيد. So now we will be start. We have completed this part. Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah. These two lines are. This two line wasn't that difficult to explain, but the only issue is that, as I said, Ajrumiyyah, he did not mention anything about mabni. We just had to talk a little bit about mabni, and then now we're done. Now we will be start talking about our main issue, which is what? I'rab. As we know, quick reading, he defined i'rab as what? تغيير أواخر الكلم. So the changes of ending of the word. Why these changes are happening? لاختلاف العوامل. Okay, for the different awamil, different amil that comes in الداخلة عليها لفظا أو تقديرا. So some words, they are called amil, they come and they have impact on other words. As soon as that impact happens, then those the words changes. Okay, those changes, when that changes happen, this is called i'rab. Okay, so this changes is called i'rab, and that the word means that word would be mu'rab. Now we want to know how many of this kind of change we have. What are how many types of this change we have? What can we do? What are the options do we have? Okay, so this is what our the Musannif will talk about. So he says, وَأَقْسَامُهُ أَرْبَعَةٌ. So its types are four. What does he mean by who? It means what? It's referring to what? It's referring to the i'rab. So how many types of i'rab we have? Okay, how many types of this change? Taghyir. How many types of these changes we have? Okay, so we have four types. Okay, we have four types. He says raf'un. So this one state is called raf. Another state is called nasb. Another state is called jar. Okay, we're not going to use that term, jar. Another state is called majzum. Okay, so we have four types. Okay, inshallah, when we go to the short, I'll explain a lot more. Right now, uh, let me just show you what's happening here. So in the Morab, or let me just write Arab. So he's saying that we have four types of Arab. The first one he says Araf. Okay. The first one is Rafun. And second one he says Nazb. I'm just going to reshuffle and you'll see why I'm reshuffling it. And then we have Nasb. I'll put the Nasb here. Missing a teeth. Okay, Nasb. So we have a Rafun and Nasbun. And then he said, you know, the khafd, we don't use this term anymore. So we say jar, and another is jar. And then he says that we have another one is jazm. Most of you probably who's coming from Medina book, or you know, someone who studied a little bit of nouns, jazm, you are probably familiar with the first three, the raf, jar, and nasb. Okay, and you will know what's the difference. He will explain. So far he's saying we have four different states that a word can be in. We have four different states. Raf, these are the name of the states. Okay, rafun, jarrun, nasbun, and jazmun. Now he's saying falil asma'i, for the nouns, min dhalika rafun. From that he gave you four lists. From this four list, for the isim we have what? Rafun, nasbun, wa khaf. So basically he's saying these three, from these four, these three belongs to isim. Okay, you understand? Wala jazma fiha. So what he's saying is this jazm does not belong to isim. For the isim, we only have these three. We have the raf, we have a jar, and we have a nasb. We don't have jazm for isim. Okay? La jazma fiha. Walil af'al, for the verbs, min dhalik rafun. Oh, I have to reorganize again. Hold on a second. Rafun, nasbun, wa jazmun. So he's saying, you know, I'm just going to reorganize this just so that I can make my diagram. It doesn't matter which order, right? For right now, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put jar here, and I'll put what uh, raf here, and you know why I'm doing this, right? Now, so he's saying for the fi'l, from that we only have raf. We only have what? Can I use different colors? We only have raf, nasb, and jazm. So that means for fail we have these three, and that's why I wanted to do this. Okay, and he's saying la khafd, la jarra fiha. So for fail we don't have the jar. So now what do you understand? You understand that what? We have some shared state between the ism and the fi'l, and then we have very exclusive states among them. So the shared state would be obviously the raf and nasb. So both ism and the fi'l has the raf and the nasb state. And the ism only has the jar, and the fi'l only has jazm. Understood? So right now we're talking about the states. Okay, so this is, you have to understand, inshallah, we'll be talking a lot about what this state means and how do we identify that would be the whole study of Arab, but you have to know this, you have to memorize. In this class, I'm not going to go any easy on you guys in term, when it comes to the terms, because you know me in the Quranic Arabic class, I go easy, but here This is what you're studying. You're studying grammar. You have to know these terms. You have to memorize these terms. Okay, so we have four states. We have a raf, nasb, and jar. These are all belongs to the nouns, and we have uh, three states which are raf, nasb, and jazm. They belong to the fi'l. Okay, and then we have the shared between the both ism and fi'l is raf and nasb. Now, before I go to the sharh, I wanted to explain that, and this is one of the confusion happens to a lot of students, which is like this term and the other term. So the terms, these are the state. These are the terms for the state of a word. But then when the word is in that state, we call them what? Majrur. For example, for the jar, we will be calling them what? We'll be calling them majrur. Majrur. Now, so when a word is in the jar state, we call it majrur. Okay, just like if somebody is a citizen of America, we call them American. We don't call them America. We have to call them American. Someone citizen in Canada, we call them Canadian. So it's just the same concept. So someone who is a word that is in the rough state, it will be what? Marfu. That's why we hear the word marfu, right? Marfu. And if the word is in the nasb state, we call mansub. Okay, and then if the word is in the jazm state, we call it majzum. Clear, guys? So far, so good. Now that we know these are the states, I'll tell you what we're going to be studying now. We know these are the states of a word. So basically what we're saying, every word, a kalima, any word has to be one of these states. And which state it is, this we'll study how we know which state something belongs to. But then we have to, now we will be explaining or studying how do we indicate that this word is in certain state. This would be our whole discussion, okay? But the way this book is organized is something that I mentioned to you a few times. That's something that I'm not going to be follow this one through because if we go through Ajrumiyyah, there will be a lot of repetition. There will be a lot of things that I don't think it will be good for you. Okay. Instead, as I mentioned to you, I'll be going through some like the Qatr or even Alfi ibn Malik, how they organize, which is very nice. Okay. So we said Arab, right? We have for noun and for the verb. What I'm gonna do, I think the best way to go about is that we will be talking about fi'l, the verb Arab, after we complete the ism. So what did the Musannif, what did Ajrumiyyah said? How many states we have for ism? Huh? Three. We have a three states. Well, I have a three branches here. So, but can you give me now? Remember, if I ask for state, you have to know which word to use. So what are the name of the state? Raf. Okay. The state is Rafun. And then what? Nasbun. Yes. Nasbun. And what is it? Jar. Yes. Good. So what happened to Jazm? Because the author said there's a fourth state. What about Jazm? Hmm? That's for the verb. Very nice. Simple. You guys understand? Beautiful. Now, what the author will be start talking about in the Ajrumiyyah, he will be talking about how do we identify Raf and how do we identify a word that is in Nasb and how do we identify the word is in Jar. So I'll start with Asl. The Asl or Asli, the original, the main way we identify a Raf state is by Dhamma. Okay, so this is how we say, how we indicate a word is in the rough state. And the asl of the nasb is fatha. Okay, and the asl of the jar is kasra. For example, if we say waladun, so this is your asl, we have a dhamma. So this, we indicate that this word is in a rough state. And we have waladan, this is in the nasb state, and waladin, this is in the jar state. Okay, so now when we look at these words, we can also name their states. Anytime we look at something, for example, we say kitaban, just by looking at this one, because remember, we're talking about when you see this word in a sentence. Okay, as soon as we look in this sentence, what is the state? Nasb, yes. So yes, it's in the nasb state, but word is mansub. Yes, good. Very good. That's all I wanted to know, that you understand the difference. Yes, very nice. So now it is very clear in your mind. Yes, the state is nasb, the word is mansub. Excellent. Now, I wanted to talk about, okay, before I talk about the taqdeer, I wanted to mention something that Sister Farhana was asking, and I think it's important. So we said this is the word kitab is mora, right? Kitabun, we can say kitaban, and we can say kitabin. It's mora. For example, I'll give you very simple example that every grammar book really gives to show you all these different different state. For example, they will say Ja'a Zaidun. Okay, let me write them. Ja'a Zaidun. Ra'aitu Zaidan. And they will say Marartu bi Zaidin. No. Marartu bi Zaidin. My question to you right now, what is the state of this Zaid right now? What is the state? The state is Raf. Okay, it is Raf. What is the state of Zaid? Huh? It is Nasb. What is the state of Zaid here? Is Jar. Now my question is, what is making Zaid? What is the amil of Raf here? What is the amil? Yes, the verb Ja. Yes, the verb Ja is the amil. And what about whatever the Zaidan here is the object, which is the amil is what? Same thing. Ra'aitu. Ra is the one that is making making the Zaid into a mansub. And what about here? What is the amil of Zaidin here? What is the amil here? Kasra B. Yes, good. So good, you didn't say maratu. The kasra is the one that is making. So you understand? So I just wanted to make sure that you understand this concept of amil, because once in a while this will come back. But now what you'll see, so we say that the Zaidun is marfu. We say here Zaidan is mansub and Zaidin is mansub. But what would happen if I say Ja'a hadha rajul? Then we say Ra'aitu hadha rajul. Then we say marartu bi hadha rajul. Now my question is this hadha. As you can see, it is not changing. This hadha is hadha in all of these situations. Why? Because we just learned the hadha is mabni. The morab is changing. Zaidun, Zaidan, Zaidin, but the mabni is not changing. Right? This much is clear. Alhamdulillah. What is the question? What does? Marartu. Marartu. Okay, good. Marra. Good. This is a very important word. It comes a lot. Marra is to pass by. Okay. So this by, you need, when you use marra, you have to use b. The b means by, to pass. So that means, I pass by Zaid. Okay, so marra to be Zaidin means I pass by Zaid. Trust me, you will find these verbs, they always use it just like that. Okay, now, so now, as you can see, the morab is changing as expected and the mabni is not changing as expected. Then what do we say about hada? Because its situation is its position is not changing. For example, its position is still what? Rough. But then what do we say about hada? Yes, this is the term. So you have to remember some of the terms the phrase I want you to memorize. Remember, one of them you're memorizing, mabni ala. So here, you can say this is marfu. Okay, you can say the walad is marfu, and here walad is mansub, mansub. Okay, and this waladin is what? Majrur, majrur. When we do proper i'rab, we have to say why is it a mansub, because right now we don't have a context, so we cannot say why this is in mansub. Inshallah we'll do them later. Those kind of i'rab we will study them much later, but right now at least we can say this walad is marfu right now. This waladan is mansub, this waladin is majrur. But the example that we have hada and hada and hada, what happens? What do we say? We have to say something, because this hada is in all these three states. As you can see, this hada is coming in all different states, but we said it's a mabni, it cannot move, it cannot change anything. So what do we say? The term that the grammarian will say is mahal. Fi mahal. Fi mahal raf. Okay, these little bit technical terms, I'm just giving you early stage so that you hear them, you understand them, and you get used to it. Okay, that's the main thing. So what is fi mahal means? Fi mahal means it's in the position of the raf. Fi mahal raf, that means it is in the location, it is in the state of the raf, because otherwise we cannot indicate that this is in raf, because all of them look the same, right? So what do we say? We say this hada right now, although it looks like any other hada, right now this hada is in a state of raf. So the term they use, fi mahalli raf. What would you say here? What would you say here? You will say fi what? Same thing, fi mahalli nasb. Okay, now you tell me, what would you say the last one? So this phrase, you have to get used to it. Okay, it will be very, very useful. What did you say for the last one? Fi mahalli jar. Excellent. That's what it is. You guys getting it? Okay. So now don't get, you see, when you hear this mahal and everything, now it's inshallah it's clear what we're trying to say, because we have to still remember, the grammarians are very picky. They want to know every single thing, what's going on. Nothing can go out of their knowledge. When it comes to structure, they need to know what's going on. Even though you are saying hada here, I need to know what's going on here. So we will say this hada fi mahalli what? Nasb. And this hada is fi mahalli what? Jar. That is the whole issue about the concept of mahal. And you will hear this a lot. So this term is very important. Okay, so now alhamdulillah, we understand that we have three states in the ism. We have raf, we have nasb, and we have jar. And the asl, that a word, the way we indicated the state, raf by dhamma, so we say waladun. And when the word is in the raf state, we call it marfu. So waladun is a marfu right now. And then the nasb, the asl is fatha, waladan. So the waladan is mansub right now. And the jar is the kasra, and we indicate by kasra like waladin, and this is majrur right now. But for the mabni, when we have a mabni, this is for a mabni, we indicate by the phrase, because mabni is not changing, the hada remains hada in all situation, but we want to say, still we want to specify what is the role, because we still need to know what is the role this word is playing, because this hada and that hada in terms of role, they are not same. Here it is role as a subject, this is role as an object, this is role after preposition genitive, right? So they're not the same. So we use this phrase hada fi mahalli raf. This hada is in the situation or in the state of the in the position of the raf. هذا في محل we say في محل نصب في محل جر. Clear, guys? So inshallah, I think because these are the things we cannot come back here anymore. These are the things that even though it's simple, you might think, but we have to make sure it stays simple. Okay, so these phrases will be coming very often.